Nord Stream AG, the company based in Switzerland that has built the Nord Stream 2 pipeline between Russia and Germany, it's fired all its employees this morning, right? They were all fired, further signaling that this whole economic partnership between Russia and Germany is really just in tatters now. We know that the United States had a long-term goal to put a halt to Nord Stream 2. Well, it seems like they've got their what they wanted, their wishes come true. Now, this is because of sanctions, because Secretary of State Tony Blinken, he even said this on Twitter, that he would be sanctioning the Nord Stream AG company. And here is the statement. He says, "We worked closely with Germany to stop Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Germany has been a leader on efforts to respond to Russian aggression and announced strong sanctions yesterday. Today, I am sanctioning Nord Stream 2 AG, its CEO, and its corporate officers." This is really big. You have to keep in mind that Germany gets 40% of its gas from Russia, okay? And that's already with Nord Stream 1 and everything besides Nord Stream 2, which hasn't even begun yet. They've stopped it while it's still being certified. So the pipeline's built, but it hasn't actually been turned on. The other day, Joe Biden, the US president, was standing next to the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and really just saying in front of the reporters, in front of the Chancellor, that we will end Nord Stream 2, even though it's not an American project. So he's really indicating to you, he's showing the world that it's the United States that's running the show and telling Germany what to do and running Germany's economic affairs. And even if it screws Germans, doesn't matter, because the US, its national it's a foreign policy and so-called national security, nothing to do with security, they come first. Now, it's not only that. There are other gas and petroleum companies that are taking action to punish Russia. British Petroleum, BP, they've said that they will exit Rosneft, which is a majority state-owned Russian gas company, and they're going to sell their stake, even if it gives them a $25 billion hit, right? So that's incredible. I think that shows you a little bit of the lengths that they're going to. As joined BP in selling its Russian assets, and they basically, as I told you, they sold their stakes in two Russian companies, and they've also stopped their joint ventures with Russia. Now, again, my point with all of this is, of course, this is to be expected, right? When you have sanctions against a country, everyone drops you like a hot potato. That's the whole point. You become radioactive, right? That's the entire idea. It's that, for example, BP, if you keep cooperating with Russia, you will get fined as well. We're going to punish you. We might even put you in jail. The punishment is determined based on the size of how big the crime is, right? And how big the economic advantage is to the targeted nation. So these companies, they've seen now that, Russia is untouchable. We're just going to drop everything. We're going to cut ties with our joint ventures, remove our stakes from their companies, and just cut them loose, because the sanctions are too powerful. And again, the idea here with Russia is that they have alternatives, right? They have Power of Siberia 2 pipeline, which, they could also turn to, which also, I think, exports, 50 billion cubic meters of gas. So they could also, instead of having that revenue come from Germany, they could just turn and get it from Mongolia, right? And from their partnership with Eurasian countries, which I was talking about with Pepe just a moment ago. So I don't think it's going to hit the Russians as badly as something like, for example, the freezing the central bank, half of the central bank's assets. But it is something very, very substantial. 40% of gas in Germany comes from Russia. Nord Stream 2 would have benefited not just the Krauts, not just the Germans, but also all of Europe. And it's a shame in a way, because you see economic partnership between Russia and Germany being just destroyed because it suits NATO interests. That's really what's going on. And who will get screwed in the end? Not so much the Russians as much as the Europeans. This is just the situation now. I don't know how far the Russians would go if they would ever weaponize the gas against Europeans. But for example, if ties were really to get really get much worse, Germany can't replace that. They want to build these LNG terminals, the liquefied natural gas terminals, to get, as it says, liquefied natural gas from places like the US, but that can't make up for the share of Russian gas that they receive and that they still need. Energy in Germany is a big topic. They transitioned away from nuclear. They don't have any nuclear power plants providing them energy. And what else are they left with? Coal. They're trying to phase coal out within the next decade. So they have an energy deficiency which they have to solve. And I really don't understand how Secretary of State Blinken running Germany's affairs is going to help them. But that's just part of the game. You become a NATO ally, you're a sacrificial lamb. That's really how it works in many ways.